G'day folks and welcome back to Pro League here in ANZ. This is the rebroadcast of the matches missed on Playday number 13. And Dev, we've just seen Elevate and TBD go at it. Pretty close match in the end, 6 apiece, and sets up for a nice second map.
That's it, and the stakes of this is second place in the league. We already know Fnatic has secured first place throughout a very consistent season, but TBD currently sitting in second. There's a chance that Elevate could steal that from them, but they need to win this next game. They already drew the first one, but that's not enough. They have to win here on map number 2. So, I mean, pressure's on for them, but pressure's also on for Elevate not to lose it and let it slip.
Yeah, quick recap of the results that we have seen tonight. Of course, earlier was Pittsburgh Knights taking on Kanga. Pretty interesting matchup. And then, as we mentioned, Elevate versus TBD. A close map number 1. But Dev, let's start talking about map number 2. We have the veto on our screens. Cafe will be the second map. What are your thoughts on the ban process?
All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to check the vetoes. I'm going to have a gander, as we say. All right, so we already saw Consulate, and this veto, that was eventually banned out by Elevate. Interesting, considering they were the ones who managed to make a comeback. So they don't seem confident enough with that. Alongside Consulate, Elevate banned out Clubhouse and Villa. And then for TBD, they banned out Border, Coastline, and Theme Park at the end, leaving us with Cafe. Yeah, I'm gonna have a gander at some recent results then. I'm gonna have a look-see and check out. Last week we saw Border between Elevate and Fnatic, and that worked out pretty well for Elevate, to be honest. I'm just going to keep having a look at Cafe games. We actually do have a loss on Cafe from Elevate 7-3 against Wildcard. It's not a huge, not super good look, I guess. But I feel like on that night when Elevate played against Wildcard, there was just something wrong with the Elevate that showed up on that day.
All right, well, Elevate have a chance to redeem themselves. Let's jump straight into Cafe, Dev. The beauty is that we have the power. We can actually start the game, and we want to start the game, which is absolutely unprecedented. A caster's dream. We're into it now. Let's get this bread. Let's get this olive bread, Dev.
Hell yeah. And I've got some tea now. I didn't mention that, but I did take a sip before we went live. So,
is that because of me mentioning tea before? I think I mentioned tea, something like that.
I think you did. I mean, I'm always on for a cup of tea, to be honest. But, you know, it's a game. It's a game we got.
Some game of fuel.
Yeah, let's get it. Yeah, I mean, tea is the best game of fuel.
Yeah, don't mind a good tea.
So, let's check out this game. Already had a Cafe match earlier today where Hibana was banned alongside Thatcher. Let's check out whether it's the same. No, Buck taken out by Elevate. It's going to restrict a lot of the vertical play on the attacking side, especially I'm thinking playing on that bar attack, trying to go below into the library and destroy a lot of the floor and displace those positions at Cocktail. With Buck, that's not going to be possible anymore. And Buck's also super versatile when attacking the bottom floor as well by pushing in and opening up all the floor above that. So I guess we'll see a substitute of Sledge, but that doesn't work bottom up, it only works top down.
Mirror and Echo will round out the defensive bans. Of course, TBD are defending first, placing them on the favoured site based on the numbers, but we all know that numbers aren't everything in Siege.
Yeah, and also earlier today when we watched Kanga and Pittsburgh Knights play this map, there was a lot of library and even mining in some cases picked over that top floor bomb site, and really mixed results. A lot of hinging around their mute play as well. A lot of drone denial, a lot of peeling back, onion peel style strategies. And we do have the Goyo in play currently, an operator that was banned out earlier today. But I have confidence that TBD can use it effectively.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
See what spots they use to choke up with those Vulcan shields.
One thing I want to say is that an F in the chat for Theme Park would be nice. We didn't see it get played at all here in ANZ Pro League, unfortunately. We've seen it I believe now in every other region, globally, maybe.
I haven't
Close
watched
to.
any LATAM, but yeah, it's
Yeah, I don't know about
definitely-
LATAM.
Yeah, I watched, was it DZ? Play it on NNA, and I really enjoyed that. EU also played it a couple times already. I'm a big fan of new maps and theme park. I've been speaking very optimistically about ever since it was reworked, and I'm quite eager to get our hands on that. But alas, not in the ANZ Pro League. But I mean, it has been in APAC Pro League because Japan's
Yes.
played a bunch, so it's just our little sub-region.
Japan was the first sub-region or region to play that map because
Yeah, I think
APAC,
you're right.
APAC did return before the other global regions. So that was pretty cool to see them give it a crack.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
sure there'll be plenty more opportunities this year, of course, with Six Masters 2020 coming shortly as well.
Speaking about new changes to the game and the rule sets, we've got Digital playing the Maverick. Now, Maverick has had a change among several other operators that have had a rework to their secondary gadgets. Maverick now has the frag grenades available, and with Goyo shields in play, and this meta really revolving around that soft breach utility, and more so I should say explosive utility on the attacking side, your Ash charges, frag grenades, Zephyr impacts, to get rid of utility like these Goyo shields, like the Maestro cameras. We do have a little bit more of that available, and of course Maverick being the only hard breacher who also has explosives. First Ash charge does get chewed up by the ADS. That ADS chewed up, and what a shot from Itby Style! That's the end of Redlands.
That was a very nice shot. Great way to open up the round, and TBD now need to hold out for half the round now. EP Style didn't have a massive first map by his standards, particularly on this defensive roam, but so far here on Cafe, it's paying dividends.
Right, piano control has been taken up. EP Style continues to destroy these drones, and not only is TBD bringing those Goyo shields, but also that deployable shield in the hallway. The Maverick trying to open holes to expose this position, but the Goyo shield protects Jack Daddy for long enough to get the one frag before he's taken out and traded. But that's the Maverick gone, and no more hard breach available for Elevate.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Mango sitting behind that Goyo shield has a nice long angle there. In towards where Worthy's positioned at Cigar Shop. He has a diffuser in hand, and it's up to TBD to try and deny that entry. Elevate need to be able to try and clear that shield, but it's going to be so challenging. It's really up to Worthy, who has the grenade. That swinging from IQ, though, opens up the round, and they will all begin to push in. Worthy gets lit up as he enters, but importantly, he is alive for that plant. God, Legion just misses that one tap.
Bomb located by
As Worthy
attackers.
will try and stick it. Cutie gets shut down, and it's left up to Joker. Where is he? He's below. Can he deny the plant? No. Just over 50 HP in the bank, and he needs to make his way up white. That shield is now being used against him, and he will be taken down.
Wow, that was an unexpected turn of events. Elevate looked stalled out when they couldn't open up into the bomb site very well. Their Maverick was taken out when they were really met with a lot of contention around the white hallway as well, but they decided, look, let's have someone rappel in to Cocktail Balcony. Let's have someone, or two people in fact, push up through the bar from Seagal. And really there wasn't enough of an action, a reaction from TBD to keep them at bay. Elevate so confident on those entries, and they made it work so well. You could see they were concerned about players below shooting up from down the long hallway and pillars, but kept their head down just long enough and managed to get the plant down. Not enough site information gathering from TBD, which also made it very difficult for Joker to clutch that one out, as he didn't know where to throw his C4 to deny the plant.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Interesting way to open up Elevate's account. One round on attack. It's a great way to start off your Cafe campaign. Oh my god. I thought Jacob was going to shoot those crossing players in the head, but fortunately for him, he misses. Always going to be careful when you're making rotates during that prep phase not to do any damage. We've seen a couple of rounds this season where impact grenades, for example, have
10 seconds left.
put players low and that can compromise how they will play out the rest of the round. But
5 seconds left.
TBD get away with that one, and they're in a position now to try and reset and
Attackers
successfully
objective
take
to locate
this
a bomb and
defense.
defuse it.
Looks like an effectively identical setup from TBD. Not sure whether they do have any more information gathering, but one change they've made is trading out that smoke for the Wamai of Cutie. TBD already really trying to defend these Goya shields. Mango still has one in the pocket, in fact. Not sure where he'll place that one. Worthy gets an early pick, and that's the Wamai gone down. Wamai being an operator that gets his utility over time as his magnets generate in his pocket means that there's so much utility that TBD will have missed out on due to that early pick.
Bomb located by attackers.
5 on 4. Not a great position for TBD, however, this third floor bomb site is never over till it's over for the defense. Ippy style critically holding Pixel still, and it's up to Elevate to try and clear this next key position out. Drones fly around Scar Shop, just making sure everything's clear, there's no off-meta hold. Meanwhile, Ippy style's actually rotated off Pixel, so it allows God Legion to push in quite aggressively, and Elevate gaining some nice control early.
Trying to assess the utility situation, check out where those electronics are. We also have Red repelling on these north windows, covering his own flanks with the Nomad. Great operator to be doing that. Ippy style moved all the way back from Pixel to the white stairs, and he has another deployable shield there that he can use to contest that angle. Him and Joker together on this position, so he's actually going to rotate even further downstairs, potentially making a full rotation up the brown stairs or red stairs as Elevate begin to get closer to the site. Digital likely to wield that Maverick Torch in a moment, but keep our eye on Ippy's style as he tries to make this flank happen. Surely there's a drone to watch it.
Well, talk about drones, both Vast and Gold Legion, who are closest to Ippy style, actually on theirs at the moment. Vast jumps off, but back on again. Ippy style not quite with the confidence to go for it just yet. That was Digital on Maverick. Diffuser in hand. He's opening up some nice angles in towards Freezer. Trying to deal out some damage. Instead jumps on that drone. And it looks like Elevate now satisfied with the intel they have. Will push in Vast all the way inside of Freezer. Head checks the angle. Doesn't quite see that play though. Joker gets one. Oh! Vast. He gets the kill. And he gets the second. And he gets the third. Ippy Styles now left stranded below. Makes his way up white. Digital will attempt that plant. 2 members of Elevate
15 seconds to go.
are there to cover. They can dedicate one to each staircase, but oh, that was close. A great kill there from Fast as well. Again, what a round from him. What a push. What a way to close out the round.
A 4K to end it as well for the captain. I remember back in the old days when Vast played a much more supportive role. Back in the Glaz meta, he was their Glaz player, but now right on in there. And you can see he locks in Ash straight out of the gate. And that's the strategy that worked really effectively for Elevate 2 rounds in a row. TBD got so much utility. Covering that white hallway, it's impossible for Elevate to push. That doesn't matter. Just start to make their way through bar. And there's not enough information gathering or entry denial on those avenues for TBD to hold it down safely. They get caught completely unawares.
For a second there, TBD actually had their third floor locked in. Definitely would have been a risky decision, but they think better of it, and
Attackers need to locate
we'll see them attempt the
defuse
second
as many
floor.
bombs
That's
as they can.
reading and dining. A site that we've seen a couple of teams default to as their first pick and their primary pick on the defense. It's taken 3 rounds for TBD to make that switch up, and probably the switch up they need. Losing 2 rounds straight on a cafe defense always puts yourselves in a challenging position, so it's up to them to try and slowly reel this one back.
Interestingly, a very similar hold from TBD despite being on that bomb site downstairs. Now there's very similar use of utility upstairs, particularly around the pixel area. Now, TBD didn't actually contest this to the death last time. In the first round, Ippy Style found 1 pick contesting onto Cigar, but after a while he backed off when he felt the pressure get too hot. But he's got a Goyo shield and all 3 of his ADSs on that position. That much utility investment typically indicates that he's not going to abandon it willy-nilly.
Last of Jack Daddy's Valkyrie cameras will be placed out around the map. As Elevate now try
Located by attackers.
and gain
Attackers
control
dropped the bomb
from
diffuser.
above.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
It's pretty much textbook now on this map. Every objective is attacked from the top floor downwards, try and sweep around, get control of the two main staircases, namely red and white. Shut down any sort of rotates that can come out, and shutting down those rotates Elevate will need to do as TBD, namely the likes of Itby Style, always ready and willing to go for that. Fortunately, didn't quite work out there for the Jaeger on the last round, but as we see, Itby Style is basically replicating his hold from round number 2.
Itby Style wants to find a fight on this angle. He's going to get given one in a second. Firing that angle. Utility comes out to waste the first of those ADSs, but Elevate likely unaware that there are 3 there. God Legion could have been on the roof and checked how many ADSs were in that corner to call out to his teammates, but I'm not sure if they prioritized that. Elevate have this full control of the top floor aside from that cocktail and tops area. Lost for the first pick on the Cutie, gets flashed up, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the rest of TBD vacate top floor before too long.
It's a 5-on-4. Joker will drop down that hatch. Itby Style still trying to find a pick as he plays on white. Thinks better of it. A tough angle to win. God Legion, he gets dropped very low from that C4. Itby Style actually does manage to win that gunfight, so that's Maverick off the board. Diffuser dropped as well, that Pixel, and it's up to Elevate to try and pick that back up. It looks like God Legion will do so as Worthy's creating some angles from above, and again, just trying to displace these players on side and
Attackers dropped.
try and create an opening for the
Attackers
planet.
have recovered their diffuser.
Now that they have this top floor control, as you said, it's about displacing those anchors. Mango's inside of library. Above him is soft floor. Joker is playing out inside pillars, watching for someone to drop down. Worthy's going to drone that, likely spot out Joker in a moment. Not sure if he did, but his drone goes straight into the bomb site and sees Mango's. Wait a second, Red's right around the corner from this mute. But Joker gets taken out and caught on the rotation, so does Jack Dad. Red's going to go straight on inside. Wants to get this plant down. Runs out of ammo, Itby Style taken out, and it's a perfect sweep for Elevate to take control. 3 attacks in a row.
3 rounds straight. What a massive start here for Elevate. Really kick-starting what's feeling like a dominant performance here on this map. TBD need to try and slow them down as best they can, but really struggling at the moment. They're going to head down to Kitchen, a site that we haven't seen yet on this map, and I think we might have seen it once earlier tonight, but again, it's not too popular. Interestingly enough, TBD not bringing a castle. We do sometimes see teams bring that to extend the site
Attackers need to
over towards
locate
Bakery and maybe even to help hold above, but looks like TBD going some more comfortable picks here and might suit their aggression.
Yeah, funnily enough, the Kitchen hasn't been a hugely successful bomb site for many teams recently, but we have seen a lot of favoritism towards those other bomb sites, and it looks like TBD's thinking the same, except for the fact that they don't seem to be able to have much success on these other bomb sites. They've attempted to get 2 defenses on the top floor, abandoned that, headed down to Library, and it didn't seem like that was too much trouble for Elevate either.
Of course, this match quite big in the scheme of things. Both these teams fighting for second in the standings. A big differentiation in the prize pool. Both these teams trying to maximize this season. Trying to maximize as many points as possible. Elevate with a draw in the first map. Position themselves nicely here and taking the first 3 rounds on attack on cafes. And they're going to elevate their position. See what I did there? Yeah.
Oh, you did it! I love it.
Can't contain yourself, Dev. I can see you grinning on my second monitor.
Yeah. Elevate have been doing really well so far, but let's remember what's at stake here. TBD currently sitting in second place on the standings. After that previous match, both of these teams, with the extra point from the draw, are still just 1 point on the standings apart. TBD in second place, Elevate on third. If Elevate draw this map, TBD stay at second place. Elevate have to get the victory here. But for TBD, is a little bit less pressure. They only need 6 rounds. They don't need to get the full dub. And they will stay in second place in the standings.
Elevate not shying away from taking quick control of the third floor. Not too difficult, TBD. Willing to give them that control, and now Elevate satisfied with that. We'll try and tick off the next task on their list, which is second floor control, creating angles down below. I'm really trying to displace and disrupt TBD. It's a tactic that's worked so far for them in the first 3 rounds. Trying to frazzle TBD, try and ruffle them up a little bit, and then go for that execute.
And no C4s as of yet to try to contest Worthy. It's a common strategy. Have a Valkyrie camera somewhere in train, try and get C4s to the floor. Maybe that's what Cutie's doing. There you go. Just waiting. Likely going to jump on his camera here and look for that position, but Worthy does find that kill through the floor. Already damaged Delton. That's Jack Daddy, the wall denial. So we'll likely see Elevate rotate downstairs. They don't actually have a Thermite and Hibano's banned, just relying on that Maverick, but it seems to be all they need so far. Hard Breach hasn't really been pivotal for Elevate thus far. And they're looking to take east side of bottom floor, but there's 2 players from TBD in strong positions, VIP and behind the bar, ready to contest.
All these offside positions key in not allowing Elevate get too close to the side. Red pushes down wide as a down will come out. Frags left, right, and center, but critically the diffuser is dropped, and just like that, God Legion is left in a 1 versus 3. He's currently on red dev, but he only has 5 seconds left. Absolutely no chance in this round, and TBD will get there first to the map.
It took them a while, but they did get it going. Oh, nasty! Jeez. Sorry, Ippy, but mate, you really gonna do it like that? Finish him with a 1-tap? Damn. Well, TBD get back in the game. Took him a full sweep of 3 different bomb sites to finally make one work, and as a result of winning Kitchen, they're not going to have a chance to retry it at all in this game. They're going to have to back up their game on one of the other bomb sites. Bar and Cocktail is the next. A 6-pick onto the Goyo. I don't really see the point in that since they were bringing Goyo basically every round anyway. It's not like it's going to throw off Elevate.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I'm not sure. Were these 6 picks onto Thatcher? But did you happen to see what he 6-pick off of? Was it a Zephyr? I'm not sure. That's alright. I was just wondering. I had a theory, right? I can't remember exactly. You know what? Let me check the stream. Oh no, the stream already.
It's too late. Yeah.
It's too late.
Ah well.
If it was a Zephyr, then maybe that bait of a 6-pick from Joker actually did work, because Elevate saw that there was no Goyo and thought maybe we don't need quite so much soft reach. It doesn't matter. Oh well. Regardless, I don't think that's a big deal. I think the Thatcher could actually be really good.
5 seconds left.
If what I'd like to see from Elevate, have God Legion go onto the roof, use his IQ scanner, and spot out where all of the ADSs are. If he sees that there are 2 stacked up, which there are on Pixel, protecting that Goyo shield, God Legion calls that out to Worthy. Worthy can then use an EMP even from the roof, and it will destroy both of those ADSs. And then a simple grenade from the Maverick or an Ash charge from Vast will destroy that Goyo shield. And that's the end of it. No wasting stun grenades or anything like that. Just nice and simple.
Once again, Elevate on the roof here. Likely to make their way in towards Piano, and it's an attack strategy that nearly all the teams will adopt. Occasionally we do see teams head over to the east side on the rappel, but
oh, I think that was
a lot of risks involved with that.
I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure that they just did what I was talking about with the Thatcher, getting rid of those ADSs. I have to double check. Yep, those ADSs are gone, so perfectly calculated by Elevate. Now an Ash charge can get rid of that Goyo shield, no worries. Really well played by Elevate. I like that use of the IQ scanner paired with the Thatcher. And it forces Zippy style off without really much risk at all from Elevate.
Good clearance so far of utility, and a lot of people talking about that matter of utility clear and then late round executes. Looking like this could well be the same as Elevate continue to gain intel. Both Vast and God Legion are droning site. Digital, meanwhile, he's on Maverick. Diffuser in hand, but more importantly, at the moment, he has that blowtorch trying to create angles and even little holes there to be able to throw grenades in towards bathroom. That could be big, but no, that doesn't do any damage. Jack Daddy does survive. Blowtorch could expose the angle though. Cutie in a position to swing wide, attempts so. But now he's pretty much dead unless he can get a pick here. Super risky position. Elevate not quite able to get him as he crosses back. That was the perfect opportunity to shut him down. Red, he shuts down Jack Daddy. Surely the kill comes out here, but no, Digital can't quite find him just yet.
4 versus 5. Make that a 4 versus 4 now. A Joker gets that kill, but immediately there's a response and everyone seems to be getting in on the action. 35 seconds left, and this is Elevate moving in through the bar. God Legion doesn't have that diffuser on him, and Joker finds yet another with the Vector. 2 players from TBD, very low, but they're holding their ground. 2 on 2 now. God Legion moving up. Needs to find this angle. Mango's so low on HP, but he needs to make these shots count. He gets taken down on the ground by God Legion, and now it's all up to Joker. He's had so many kills so far in the round. Is that his third? And now for the 4K to hold down the round, but God Legion pulls through and elevates once again. A successful attack onto the top 4 for the 3rd time in a row.
Another close round tonight will go in favor of Elevate. Great clutch up there from the IQ. Just when it looked like TBD would get away with that round, that late pick will turn it against them. 4-1 is now the scoreline, Dev. We could well see a 5-1 lead on a Cafe attack, which... Look, I can't think of the last time in Pro League that we've seen such a dominant performance on the attack, at least not within ANZ that I've casted, but
it would be
I think it would definitely be... It's a bit of an anomaly, I think.
Yeah, it would be super notable if Elevate can win this round once again. That is going to be 4 total wins for an attack onto Bar Cocktail. Now, that is, like you're saying, unprecedented. That does not often happen. And it's not like these operator bans are super attacker-sided or anything. No Echo, no Mirror. The Thatcher is on the board, though. That does somewhat have an impact. I think that the ability of... the effect of these Goyo shields is somewhat lessened. And I know a lot of pros, in particular, have been voicing their opinions on how, at the moment, the meta, as an attacking side, it's so difficult to clear out all of the utility that can be brought to the table that requires explosives to deal with. But TBD bringing this Goyo and the Maestro together, but they're not having any problems destroying all of these bits of utility, and all they're bringing is 2 Ash charges and 2 grenades from the Maestro, and the Maverick. And the Maverick isn't even using his grenades on that, he's mostly using them to displace players. And part of that is really efficient use of that limited explosive utility from Elevate. They're not just... As soon as they see a Goyo shield throwing out a grenade without checking for ADSs, they use the IQ scanner, they're checking where those ADSs are, they're getting rid of it with the Thatcher, then move on.
Bomb located by attackers.
Vast currently on 10 kills as we had a peek at those kills earlier. Big map for him so far, and there's been a couple of occasions where he's just sent it in towards side and reaped the rewards. Digital currently on 0 kills, but again, he's playing a big role supportively, so not really necessary for him to be getting kills, especially when his team comfortably up 4-1. He can sit back on that Maverick, and as you mentioned, using those grenades to great use for displacement. Maybe not always netting kills, but able to make things quite challenging for these players holding such tight positions. As Elevate once again are trying to clear out Pixel Worthy. He's on the Thatcher, likely to throw an EMP on the roof again as they try and clear it out. There it is. That's the sound of the EMP, and it should now be taken down. Ibisol, fully aware of that, will fall back, and now they're just stuck inside a bathroom.
I think the adaptation from TBD was to bring that Wamai, which they tried last time. Unfortunately, Cutie was taken out, but One of the great things about Wamai and the strengths over Jaeger is that he can throw out those Wamai magnets late round. And there you go. 2 were thrown in here. And both of those, if they were thrown early enough, could have gotten rid of that Ash charge, but it wasn't to be. I think that's a Valkyrie camera trying to get destroyed, but it's an interesting shape hole from Digital. Not sure what the idea there. But most of TBD has been forced back to the cocktail side. In fact, there are 2 players downstairs. Joker on the Goyo and Jack Daddy playing the Valkyrie. Both operators that can bring C4s to the table. It looks like maybe the vertical play is going to be one of the tools in TBD's arsenal. But the first kill does go their way.
3 on 5, 45 seconds left for Elevators. They try and clear more of this utility. Maybe set up for that plant, but it'll be challenging. TBD playing very patiently. That hole created by Digital earlier could net a kill. Vast nets himself a kill. That's Ippy's style taken off the board. Was playing at Pixel, but did rotate out. And now Vast on 11 kills tries to find himself in towards site. We've seen him send it on this occasion before as Digital will even out that man count. Shots missed by Cutie, but eventually he'll get it through the fire, and Vast gets his double. The aggression now needs to come out from Elevate, and Vast will get his 3rd. A massive map from him so far, but can he find the 4th? Jack Daddy, surely he's playing below with intel. He's actually in shop at the moment, but either way, he's safe enough from the Ash, and TBD will take the round.
It might have taken them 4 tries, but finally TBD can get a defense put together on Bar Cocktail. And it looked so close there. You mentioned Vast. He has been on fire tonight. I'm not sure what the final kill count is on the scoreboard at the moment. Was it, what, 12 and 2 or something? Insane.
I think it was 10 going into that round, so it'd be 13, 14 after that. How many kills did he get? Did he get 4?
Gotta be. Digital definitely got 1, so it must have been 3, I think.
3, yeah.
So 13 and 2 at the moment. That is plus 11. Man's crazy.
Bit of a gamer.
Bit of a gamer.
Must have had his tea last night.
Yeah, well, despite that, TBD do hold on a little bit better. I got to commend Cutie playing Wamai. Managed to steal 2 kills, I believe, while anchoring in key positions. Unfortunately, his utility wasn't super impactful, but I think that's a key difference between that round and what happened earlier when TBD tried to defend that bomb site, where Wamai was picked so early. Now Elevate gonna treat us to their attempt at a cocktail defense. What are you doing here, God Legion? Does he think he can fit a magnet up there or something? What do you got for us?
Hey, didn't quite get it where he wanted it. Oh, he picks it up. That's fine.
Let me see. I want to see this. Doing some ultimate frisbee. Oh, come on, so close. I think he's trying to get it on that little bit. Maybe cheeky.
Ah, well.
But nonetheless, no Goyo shields from God Legion or from Elevate at all, but they could just bring deployable shields. Operators like, in fact, I think it's just the Wamai can bring deployable shields out of this lineup. So that's primarily what those Wamai magnets will be looking to protect. Yep, there is in fact one at Pixel.
Surprise, surprise. Saw TBD bringing Goyo shields for Pixel, and Elevate did a great job in countering that, throwing EMPs on the roof. Joker currently right above Pixel, and I'm guessing he's probably going to do the same. Try and clear out any of those magnets or ADS devices protecting Pixel, and Jack Daddy's even going to help him out, spot out exactly where those are located. EMP flies out, utility likely taken off the board, and now that shield should be able to be cleared.
And a lot of a retreat as well from Elevate towards the east side, but this is nearly half the round gone. And there hasn't been a lot of progress from TBD. Yes, they don't have a lot of players taken down, but they've already lost 4 drones, both of Mango's drones. And remember, he's the primary droner playing this Thermite right now, and he can't information gather anymore. So really, he just needs to pivot into playing a more entry position after he's used his utility. You can see TBD are a bit concerned about this Maestro device. They're talking about how they're going to destroy it. Thatcher grenade is what they're going to do. And no, the Maestro looks the other direction. No one's in position to take it out. So that's a wasted Thatcher. Actually, as I say that, Jack Daddy repels in and does get rid of it. Elevate are still contesting this top floor. God Legion throwing more magnets out. And there are 4 players. In fact, Elevate are outnumbering TBD currently on this top floor. With just Red ready to push from the White Stairs as well if needed.
40 seconds left, 10 members still up in the server. It's going to come down to who can win these trades, and it's only a matter of time before those come out. Positions being held patiently by Elevate at the moment, waiting for TBD to overpeak. Mangoes has the diffuser in hand. Keep an eye on him inside of Shop as it be style. Has a creative angle in towards Cocktail. Can't quite see anyone though, and here's the push. Mangoes heads it. He's going to go straight for that plant. The coverage needs to come out from it be style as he flanks around. Red though gets the C4 kill, and it's a 4-on-2. TBD surely can't win this round now. Elevate too strong on site. Cutie attempts to pick up the bomber, will go for the plant, but he gets shut down. Jack Dad gets one. Had the opportunity to get the second, but there was a player below, and Elevate will take the round.
Despite being able to open up all of the angles that they intended, Thermite Charge into Piano, and then the Thermite Charge opening up our backstore as well, TBD didn't have a successful avenue. Part of it could be that they took so long to take that control inside of Piano, especially relative to how much Elevate contested it, because Elevate was more than happy to just push on back, hold the White Stairs, hold Cocktail, hold their positions around tops. In fact, Elevate was so unaffected that they rotated Red downstairs as well to retake downstairs, of which no one from TBD had contested, and then think about potentially denying from below. He had a perfect angle. I'm not sure if the C4 actually got a kill, but he had an angle onto that diffuser. And it was just a game of bottlenecks that TBD couldn't win.
I have to laugh a little bit. I have my Twitter feed on my second monitor, and Elevate released a clip from this match with the caption, "You cute us for T-Hunt." Elevate is savage on their socials, I must say. Oh,
yeah.
Wowee.
You're not wrong.
And I guess rightly so, they are 5-2 up. A strong attacking half for them, and kickstarting their second half with a great round as well. A big lead for them on this map, and we're going to see them head below to Reading and Fireplace. A map that we saw feature once only in the first half, where TBD were defending. Didn't manage to win that round as Elevate took their 3rd straight. So some decent form heading into this round.
Yeah. Don't forget that the first map did go 6-6, and Elevate needs the dub here in order to steal TBD's spot in the standings and effectively quadruple their prize pool. TBD have had such a good season. They've been so consistent and really slipped under the radar. They're the last remaining orgless team in the ANZ Pro League. And they've done so well despite not having that support. And in contrast, Elevate nearly picked up.
Oh my god. So how high does that debris go when you hit it with the hammer? It was like a rocket. Sorry. Continue on.
Cutie's got a good arm. Cutie's got a good arm, alright?
Wow.
Jack Daddy's playing a point-and-click adventure here. Take out some util.
Interesting position from God Legion. Position that we see Jaeger mains play often. He decides to rotate back down though. Plenty of teammates to support.
Bomb located by attackers.
As it looks like Control up above essentially forfeited Digital, the last member to really put up a fight, as he heads down White Stairs. And now TBD will probably do the classic displacement below and then try and execute onto site.
Still not this top floor control gained completely yet. We still have a lot of drones left for TBD. In fact, 9 out of 10 still available, and it looks like they do finally have the information that top floor is fully clear. They can take that control, but yes, just 1 minute left to get this displacement going. Chew open that floor with the sledgehammer and breaching charges. start to take these players out on site, because the typical strategy defenders use to counter this is they vacate the objective, as we see from God Legion playing downstairs, Red as well playing outside in Train, even Digital. So there's only 2 possible players who are on site, but neither of them are even in the area that can be affected from above. So TBD is going to spend a lot of time accomplishing not much, and Elevate will still have manpowers for this flank.
Not long in this round, and 10 members still up. That punch hole from Red and towards Pillars doesn't quite give him the angle there onto Joker, and Mango's playing there at the moment. Mango's would have been caught with his pants down as well as he was on his drone, but he gets away with that one. Ippy style, meanwhile, trying to push down White, clears that barbed wire. The wide peak from Digital doesn't quite get him. The killer's frags will come out. Ippy style wins that gunfight. How many more can he win? Oh! That's 2 more. One of those being downed, and that's his triple for the round. Meanwhile, the diffuser has gone down. Mango is the planter, and now he needs to try and cover it alongside Ippy style and Jack Daddy. Red is above. A nice position for him, but he needs to find 3, and as he drops, that's going to be the big sound cue. Pre-fire comes out. He's going to go straight on the bomb. Try and fake it out. He doesn't have a lot of time to work with, and there we go. TBD will clean it up.
Excellent round for Ippy style. A 4K if I'm not wrong. Potentially an ace. I didn't see the other one. I think it must have been a 4K from his position. One of them was an injure, thanks to Cutie, I believe, who got the grenade. But I gotta say, TBD, good way to get themselves back into it. A very strong attack, despite what I had kind of suspected based on the position they were in. Only a few seconds left, maybe 20. Then they were ready to execute onto the bomb site in a 5-on-5. They did such a good job to take out those players, especially coming down the white stairs. Ippy style really opened up that round.
5-3 is the scoreline. Kitchen is the site for the 9th round. Kitchen again only featuring once in the first half, and funnily enough, that was one of the few defenses that TBD did manage to win. Question is, will their attacking form be as good as their defensive? Elevate bringing a pretty standard lineup here. No castle again. We didn't see TBD bring one either. So I might see a bit more of a hunker down in towards site.
We do actually have the bandit batteries available to deny these thermite charges. We're likely to be bandit tricking potentially, which really forces the hand of TBD to go above, open up this floor, and as we're going to see in just a moment from Digital, Valkyrie cameras going out inside a train. As all that wooden floor there is the primary area the attackers want to prioritize to deny those bandit tricks. Open up that floor, you look straight down onto the bomb site. And, well, something I guess we could talk about in that vein is the fact that Elevate decided to ban out the Buck, but despite that, I don't really think Cutie's been hindered at all playing this sledge. If anything, I would say the Buck versus the sledge would probably mostly affect Cocktail and Bar, as you can't go below Cocktail and open up the floor as a sledge the way you can with a Buck, and Elevate won that site, so maybe that's the thought process here for Elevate. Regardless, let's see how TBD can manage to take map control here for the kitchen attack.
As usual, it'll start from above. Jack Daddy and Cutie sending out drones to gain that early intel. Ippy style with the confidence to drop the skylight. And rightly so, no one from Elevate here with any capacity to deny it. Really wish Jack Daddy would shoot the speaker there. It's a little bit annoying. Ah, well. He doesn't really need to sound door. Not too much going on above. Meanwhile, drones continue to go out as they now try and clear the second floor. Really is a tiered attack on this map, on this side as a whole. But we're at the halfway point now, Dev. It's time to start to get the ball rolling now, I think.
Yeah, and that's when this vertical play comes into effect. Cutie vulnerable to these C4s, so he has to be very careful. I think he was completely aware of that Valkyrie cam spot. Maybe a drone had spotted it earlier, maybe Jack Daddy had done so. And I think that was Jack Daddy destroying an electroclaw in all likelihood on one of those main prep walls. And Mangoes, as we can see downstairs, entering in the bakery. Gonna place a thermite charge there, perfect. The C4 does come out, but misses its mark. Another one though, and Cutie's taken out. TBD will have to be satisfied with the soft breach they've got so far because they're not getting any more sledgehammers onto that floor.
Roku wall getting open now by Mangoes as Jack Daddy finds the first for TBD. Nice long angle for the Thermite to peek through. Worthy needs to be mindful as he's quite exposed to that position. As again, more droning coming out from TBD, trying to really make sure they know where these members on site are so they can go for that execute. 30 seconds now, and it looks like Mangoes will head that. He has the diffuser tucked under his arm. A player going for the flank will surely be shut down. Worthy, unfortunately, is taken out, but a quick refrag from Digital will even out that main count. And this attack from TBD looking quite disjointed, quite separated them at the moment as they try and sweep around site. Ippy Style needs to get his gear on as he makes his way towards main door. Meanwhile, Jack Daddy gets in towards site, and now they need to commit to the plant, but he can't find anywhere safe to get it down. Oh, no. Elevate will take the round. Jack Daddy just can't find anywhere safe to put it down. And a great defense there from Elevate.
I thought TBD was pretty good, to be honest, on that attack. They took map control without wasting too much time. They dismantled the utility on the bomb site the Elevate had. They even had a pick through the floor. Mangoes rotated to open up the main wall, got prep open, no worries, got the kitchen wall open, no worries. And he even got another pick onto Worthy, I believe it was, who is making his rotate, trying to go for a flank. Clearly a good, well-placed drone from one of the TBD players to spot that out for him. But then despite that, TBD were in a position where they could achieve it, but like you were alluding to before, they weren't quite tight enough. Mangoes got refragged, and there was no one to push on the back of him. Ippy Star was so far disjointed from the rest of the push, and I think on top of all that, to dust it off, Elevate clearly had information onto the objective. As soon as the players like Jack Dad started to file into the objective, Elevate was super aware of it, which meant that the alive players in the bomb site could make perfect decisions about where they could rotate, who they should pick.
Big round here for Elevate. They are on match point. If they win this, that'll edge them above TBD, their opponents, in the standings and give them a massive boost in the prize pool.
10 seconds remaining.
So a big round for them here, and third floor, definitely a comfort pick for them. They picked it on their first defense. They won it. Only faltering once in this second half. That was over in Reading and Fireplace, and they have a couple more opportunities in this matchup to falter if needed. They want to close this one out nice and quickly. TBD, they've come back against some of the best teams in ANZ. They did it against Fnatic, I believe. They may have been down and they came back in that one. Or at least they recovered from a flawless defeat.
Yeah, I think they lost the first series. I'm going to double check this so you know what we're talking about.
Pretty sure they lost the first map 0-7, and then I think maybe even in the second they made a comeback. I can't remember though.
Come back to 7-3, so very impressive from TBD. We've seen it in the past, and look, they've got to be tilted that the first map was robbed from them. Right here, they need to win the rest of these 3 rounds in order to retain their position. But there are some brutal attacks ahead of them here. They haven't yet won a bar cocktail attack. And that buck will hamstring them, or lack of the buck will hamstring them, as they can't go below. Lots of deployable shields from the Goyo, the Vulcan shields. We can see just 3 of them strewn out around the site. 1 in piano as well. Likely a deployable shield, but Cutie finds the lead-off kill. God Legion taken down, one of those primary fraggers, and a lot of utility from the Wamai that won't be deployed. This is an excellent start from TBD. Just got to work from here.
They have a minute 32 work with. Zippy Style leads the charge alongside Mango to get control inside of shot. Flashbangs to try and burn those ADS devices, allowing Ippy Style to use the final of his stuns on the lifeline and the final of those destructive projectiles. Pre-fire's coming out as well, but won't net him any damage or any kills. As they try and prod, try and find one more pick and make this execute a little bit more feasible. Still safe to say I think that Elevate are in a good position to win this round, due to the nature of the side and their positions as a whole being quite strong. Mangoes though, he finds himself inside a bathroom dev, and that could be a big opening in this round.
Numbers advantage still in favour of TBD. Ippy Style is lurking downstairs, but it's going to be very difficult to execute a flank as Worthy's watching that. Main wall from Mangoes is opened into the freezer. Ippy looking to peek up onto Worthy. Worthy just trying to find the best way to hold this angle, not too aggressively, but Vast does shut down Mangoes on that entry. 35 seconds left, and the numbers are even. It's up to TBD to execute.
Cootie still with that diffuser inside of Piano. Red, meanwhile, he gets lit up, but gets away with his life rotating out. Digital, though, he's in a dangerous position with that older. Cutie does eventually shut down Red, and there we go. Digital gets one. Another frag comes out onto Cutie. There's only 2 members left from TBD to try and save their season and hold second in the standings. Now it's up to TB Style, though. He finds himself in the freezer, gets 1 pick. Can he get the second? There he does onto Vaz. What are you doing, mate? Jumping off the railing will spell his demise, and it be Style with a fantastic clutch.
What a clutch it be! There's no way he made that work. That was insane. For so many moments, I thought that was GG. But to come back from that kind of deficit, just 2 players left, so much utility still for Elevate. And yet Itby Style steps up when it's needed. What a way to close out that round, and only 2 more needed to retain their second place on the Pro League standings. They're getting it so very close. I'm sure they can taste it. For Elevate, they're just a hair's breadth away from accomplishing their goal. That has been their goal for such a long time, always. Elevate seem to be in that 4th slot, that 3rd slot in the Pro League standings, never qualifying top 2 to go to the APAC finals, never getting that taste of what it's like to be at the very top of ANZ. This season looked to be their best chance at making that dream happen and finally reaching that top 2 position, but TBD stands in their way right now, and they're not letting it go without a fight.
They had that top 2 position stripped from them by Fury in Season 10 in the final Playday for them. Looking for revenge here in Season number 11, and it's looking likely, but the job still isn't completed. They have to win this round or the next. A draw will not be enough, as they now try and defend TBD, fighting super hard at the moment. The intensity of this match continues to step up round after round as the stakes they continue to increase, and Elevate will not want to let that earlier lead slip away.
Elevate know that they can win this bar cocktail defense. They've done it before, straight out of the gate in their first defense of the half. So they're going to stick to their guns. They're not going to rotate to Library, which looked much more messy from them. They're going to stay true to their guns. Good use from Jack Dad to spot out this utility. Can't quite tell from our screen whether that was ADSs or my charges or something else. Could have been a Maestro cam. Mango's going to drone that out. Thatcher EMP also got rid of a lot of that util. Mango's has been really good at opening up all the necessary angles, and Itby Style, well, he's been so good at taking these engagements. We know he can clutch these rounds. He's the first one in the building here. Mango's going to move on over. Itby to suppress this potential flank from White Hallway. And TBD have made pretty good progress thus far.
Sends the drone out and tries to follow up on it. Does it be Style? Creates an angle or tries to take out some utility on that wall. Either way, though, Mango's once again. Now, once again, Mango's with that diffuser. Oh, that's a big nade. God, Legion and Vast stacking on top of one another. Will both take damage. Itby Style finds the opening pick as well. Elevate. They almost brought back the last round with an early round disadvantage, but with a couple of their players low, that might not be the case. In saying that, Vast has come up clutch with those stim pistols, so Gold Legion has been brought back up.
Itby Style is on the ball today. Ready to make an entrance, and Mangoes is paving the way for him with this thermite charge now. Not sure whether that was muted, but Vast to take down Mangoes. I don't think that wall got open. I think there's still a mute jammer on it. And there's no chance they're detonating that thermite charge now. Makes it so much more difficult. Vast holding down the line here, has this shield to play with, and there's just 25 seconds. Elevate looks like they could be in the driver's seat to take this home.
Fast gets 2. Can he find 3 and win himself the map? No, not quite. He gets taken down by Joker, who dropped the skylight, but the refrag is there. Jack Daddy, though, he's going for the plane. He gets it down, but now he's left in a 1-on-3. He finds one. He can't find the second, though, and Elevate will win the map 7-4, Devon. In doing so, they'll jump TBD in the standings and finish in the top 2.
Defender mission successful.
And after a long, hard-fought season, Elevate finally makes it happen. TBD wouldn't let them get away with it without a fight. But TBD, their time in the top 2 of the standings is at an end. They'll drop below just on the final Playday, on their final match in the final round of their Pro League dream. That is a GG. Elevate end up second. And look at that, Vast with 18 kills! It'd be Star with 15 kills? Oh, dang.
Just a couple?
I mean, Vast just comes in casually with a 3.0 KD. That's nuts.
Not a bad way to finish off your season, I must say. And I mean, in saying that, though, yes, those 2 individual players had massive performances, but I think at the end of the day, it came down to that well-rounded performance from either team. It wasn't just one person for either team running riot. It came down to those players being set up, I think, by the rest of their team in those rounds.
Yeah, 100%. Man, I've been so impressed by both of these teams and the progress that they've made. It's been a long road for both of them. Both of these teams have been in the Pro League for a really, really long time, and I think both of them got to be proud of the season that they've had. But I think the moment especially goes to Elevate, finally just nudging in front, and I'm sure they've got to be proud of that.
Well, normally about this time, we'll have an interview with a player or a coach from either team, but unfortunately, because this match has, already happened, that won't be the case. But Dev Marta, the GOAT himself, he's already asked the players a couple of questions. So take us through it. What were their responses? We can talk about it on the other side.
So I was talking to Hippie Style, the man himself from TBD, and I asked him a few questions. I said, looking back on the season, how do you feel the team has progressed since where you started, and what were your goals, and have you achieved them? And this was a bit of a somber note. Obviously, TBD just fell short, and he said, as unfortunate as it is, we couldn't get the win to secure our second place. Being this is our first season with Joker and Mangoes, we've done exceptionally well for the most part. And I personally have to agree with that. I've been hugely impressed by TBD. I think every season they lose players to roster changes to whatever it is. Last season they lost Kings to retirement, and yet they still managed to retain that top 4 spot. I also asked him, talking about how his season 11 of Pro League has ended, what's the next step for this team? And he said, now that the season is over and the so-called weight of aiming for the top 1 to 2 spot is now off our shoulders, we'll solely be focusing on our team play and continuing to be a top contender within ANZ and hopefully APAC as a whole. So I'm optimistic that that TBD can accomplish that dream. And I think the consistency through this season has definitely been a testament to that. Ippy Style also wanted to say to any of our fans, long-term, and any new fans or long-term fans, we apologize that we couldn't close out the win to secure a second seed, but we will iron out the minor issues and keep hunting those big dubs. He actually said wins, but I embellished it and made it big dubs. But yeah, it sounds like the wound is still a bit fresh for them, though. Yeah,
that's fair enough. They went into this Playday second, even earlier in the season with the potential to finish first, which is an incredible effort. So look, the future for them is looking bright. Hopefully, they might be able to get some org support as well, which I think will really help out in their efforts in the rest of the year, Masters 2020, etc., etc. But with TBD done, let's go to Elevate. I assume you asked someone. Was it Fast?
I did. No, it was actually Digital. In fact,
Digital.
Shout out to Digital. He was the first guy to message me out of all the players, and he actually asked if I was doing player interviews tonight. And that made me, I spent all day trying to figure out whether we could actually make it work with the actual getting them on the stream. But unfortunately, we couldn't manage that. So that's why I decided to do these questions instead. So I said, knowing that this season was your best ever chance to make top 2, what preparation did you have going into the final, and how did you feel with what you achieved? Digital said, Prep going into the final week was a little more cramped with having 2 games in the 1 week back-to-back, but all in all, we treated the games like any other Pro League games with necessary vodding and practice. In terms of what we had achieved, the boys are extremely happy. Vast, God, and Red had been striving for a top 2 finish for seasons on now, and myself and Worthy are blessed to have been a part of their long-awaited grind for this placement. So I'm really happy to hear that these guys, the long-standing players, especially Vast, God, and Red, who've been on this team for such a long time, they've finally achieved that dream and gotten the top 2. Digital continued on saying, our season, much like our last week, was also cramped. Having assembled the team just before Pro League transfer window closing, we had to get to practice and dry running straight away to solidify strategies in the team and roles. On top of having this roster change mid-season, it also meant we had to refresh and update a lot of our strategy, giving us plenty to work with on mid-season break. With Pro League only just ending, we feel now that we are really progressing and still have a lot of work to do as a team. Our goal for this season was definitely top 2, and we are more than glad to have achieved it. And so the next step for them, he says, is just continuing that progression and weekly practice, weekly dry runs. Important for them to constantly upgrade their strategy and cohesion. And lastly, I know there's a lot of Elevate fans out there, especially with that organization coming back into Rainbow Six. Digital said, appreciate all the fans who support us on Twitter and in Twitch chat. The comments and support don't go unnoticed. We'd also like to thank Elevate for picking us up in the mid-season break. Their support has been amazing, and we look forward to continue representing them for future games to come.
Well said. I think it's safe to say that some of the wounds there from sort of the end of season 10, I guess, are healing or healed after this season. It's a little bit of a shame, of course, that there's not a LAN, but hey, they definitely made a bit of bank off the back of tonight, and I think that'll serve them well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a huge achievement for Elevate. They thought that their time to finally get top 2 was last season. It was robbed from them on the final Playday, but now they've finally gotten that across the line.
Well, we have the standings updated at the end of Season 11. Let's have a look and see exactly where these teams place. Elevate, of course, finish second. Dev narrowly behind Fnatic, who will reign supreme. TBD falling to third. Wildcard not far behind. And then in that second half, we have Sinister, Pittsburgh Knights, Fury, and Kanga.
I feel like the thing we often have said in the past about our Pro League is that it tends to be a story of 2 halves. You have those top 4 teams who are usually quite separate in terms of points and skill level from the bottom 4 teams. And I think this season has quite changed that. We have Fnatic, who is at the top, but they're only 3 points ahead of Elevate, who's only 2 points ahead of TBD. So that's quite a close collection there on those top 3. A little ways down, we've got Wildcard, Sinister, and Pittsburgh, all very, very close. Fury not far behind as well. So there's a lot of competitiveness in this mid-region. Sinister and Pittsburgh Knights have really impressed me this season, I think, especially with the second half of the season for Sinister going undefeated since returning back into the second half of the Pro League split. Unfortunately for Kanga, they only got 4 points. I'm always going to give them the redeeming factor and say that one of those points was a draw against Fnatic, and the other 3 was a win against Wildcard. And Kanga has also had to deal with having their players poached by other teams. Players like Pat from going to Wildcard, players like Worthy going to Elevate. But these guys have also made a lot of progress this season, and I'm really excited for them.
Awesome. Well, Dev, that is basically the season done. Is there anything you'd like to say? Because we know that, I mean, last night we, I guess, ended the season, but now it's well and truly 100% all the matches casted. How are you feeling after this season? Because it's been a pretty good one.
A little bit sentimental, to be honest, especially ending on that note with Elevate finally accomplishing that goal that those players have been trying to do season on season. Our Pro League has ended now, and we won't have another season of Rainbow Six Pro League. We're going to have new things with the new program that are going to be even more exciting, which there are going to be more information on very soon, but there were announcements at 6 Invitationals, 3 majors a year, and the 6th Invitational. We got 6 Masters 2020 coming, and we have all these other more exciting things coming up really soon that I'm really excited to announce and to see in action. So I guess the other thing I can say is just stay following all the Rainbow Six ANZ channels, especially the Twitter, Facebook, and you'll get all the updates for those competitions to come.
Awesome. Well, Dev, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining me tonight. And thanks to Sky, who's actually been doing the producing for us as well, the GOAT observer of ANZ. But with that said, that is season number 11 of Pro League in ANZ. 100% completely done and dusted. We appreciate your viewership and we hope to see you soon.